That's so fun. You've got AZRadio.live's Independent Artist Spotlight Show with today's guest, Scott Jeffers Traveler, brought to you by Kirk's Studio for the Performing Arts. Kirk's is a Valley's premier music studio. Call us or go to kirkstudio.com. Also by Riverton Piano. Whether you're looking for your very first piano or your last, Riverton Piano of Scottsdale and Peoria will take the time to educate you and make sure you're in the right instrument. Everything from the best in digital pianos to concert grands, Riverton Piano will help you find a family heirloom or the right starter piano. Find them online at rivertonpiano.com. Scott Jeffers Traveler Sound is an innovative new fusion of world music and rock, using traditional ethnic instruments combined with all the power of a full-blown rock band. Their performances are intense, exotic, adrenaline-driven. Scott Jeffers is a composer and band leader. His own Lebanese heritage and American upbringing has inspired his vision to fuse elements of ancient ethnic music with rock. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor we present to you Scott Jeffers Traveler.
You're dying so slowly, oh, so slow. If you're not giving, you're taking more than your share. Don't you know? If you love, you will see all the beauty that surrounds you. If you're shrouded in a haze of anger, you'll be blinded as can be. If you're not living, you're dying so slowly, oh, so slow. If you're not giving, you're taking more than your share. Don't you know? There's a place inside your heart, only you hold the key to unlock it. Endless wonder of what this life can be. 'Cause if you're not living, you're dying so slowly, oh, so slow. If you're not giving, you're taking more than your share. Don't you know? More than your share. Don't you know?
Scott Jeffers Traveler on an Independent Artist Spotlight Show. You're truly a world traveler. In fact, when I reached out to you last year, you were in a little beach town in Egypt called Dihab on the Red Sea coast.
That is correct. Dahab, Egypt, which means gold.
And were you on the beachfront on that
Yeah,
location?
the whole town is on the beach front. It's a really tiny town, and it's hard to get to, so it's not very populated, and the only people that make it there are usually divers because the coral reefs are so amazing. So it just has a really cool atmosphere, not really touristic like you would find in other parts of the Red Sea, you know, the resort areas further up like Sharm el Sheikh and
Very neat, very neat. Can you get there by car or is it by boat? Or?
Yeah, you can drive there. I can get there by boat as well.
Yeah, that was very nice. And when I reached out to you at that time, you said, "Yeah, sure, we'll be on your show just as long as I'm back in the United States." So thank you for being here in the Phoenix studios.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, as you can see, Mr. Traveler has a lot of different instruments, ethnic instruments, different types of styles of guitars, and we'll get a shot of him changing guitars. And this next song is called, I'm getting my notes here, it's a song called The Writing is on the Wall. Now, can you tell us a little bit about this instrument that you're working with there?
Yeah, this is a Moroccan lutar. It's really specific to the Atlas Mountain region of Morocco. It's a Berber instrument, and the Berbers are like the natives of that land. So it goes back a long ways. It's an African instrument, and basically it's just, a gourded out piece of wood with some sheepskin over the top and some strings ran over it. And this is kind of the predecessor to the banjo too, which, as we all know, is an African instrument as well. And so this song was actually written in Morocco. I had bought this instrument in Marrakesh and proceeded to travel throughout Morocco and ended up in the Atlas Mountains, where I wrote this in an amazing place called Ouzoud, which is a cascade of waterfalls, a huge series of cascades. And I spent over a week there because it was so amazing. These cascades are giant in the middle of a jungle on a mountain, and there's monkeys running up the side, and it's overwhelming. And it inspired this tune, a tune about mortality. Somewhere in a dream, on a misty night, an illumination by a candlelight, a parchment paper and an old quill pen in the hand of the poet. The story begins. I can feel it, I can hear it call, I can see it, the writing's on the wall. Gazing out the window at an old oak tree, saw them in the moonlight with just one leaf. Seasons change and the old must die, but with every falling comes a time of life. I can feel it, I can hear it call, I can see it, the writing's on the wall. Of dawn, through your days in the sun, with joy and laughter, with your dear loved ones. So don't be sad when the dusk has come, for life is fleeting. It was a beautiful one. I can feel it, I can hear it call, I can see it, the writing's on the wall.
Scott Jeffers Traveler. Hey, thank you. You're a true professional, sir. Next Saturday, May 25th at 7 p.m. is the Louis Ray Camerata Shannon Trotter Show on the B-side here at Kirk Studio for the Performing Arts. Come join us for an intimate evening of great music featuring the genius of Louis and the up-and-coming talent of Shannon Trotter in a one-of-a-kind setting. Tickets are only $10, and you can get them on ticketweb.com. That's Saturday, May 25th at 7 p.m., ticketweb.com. Other great shows on the B-side include Break the Robot on Saturday, June 1st, Mills End, Saturday, June 8th, Billy Chaffee with Adam Ezrick, Saturday, June 15th, and Moons, Birds, and Monsters, Saturday, June 29th. The Mojo Rats play live at the Gypsies Roadhouse in Phoenix, celebrating the venue's 5th anniversary, Saturday, May 18th. Show begins at 9 p.m. The Mojo Rats play great classic rock. The Independent Artist Spotlight show's last show will be The Joeys on Thursday, August 15th. That will be our grand finale, and that's this edition of AZRadio.Live's music news on this beautiful May 16th evening of 2019. Now, you corrected me as far as it's Celtic music.
It is Celtic, not Celtic.
Yes, like the basketball team.
That's right.
You said they would have just mutilated me if I
Well,
was.
yeah, I don't know if they'd mutilate. Maybe some, particular clan might have be having a bad day and not like the way you said.
Absolutely, it's Celtic.
It's possible.
And do you consider yourself an aficionado of Celtic music, or a genius? Or, is that what you're what's the word when you're just master that skill? Are you a Celtic artist?
Yes, I have mastered the Celtic art.
Okay.
No, I have not. No, you could never master any style, really. You're always learning because music's growing. That's my philosophy. Good. So don't argue with it, but it's just my philosophy. But yeah, I'm always working towards it. And of course, from the first moment I heard Scottish music and Irish music, I just felt like there was a connection to my deep roots, which later, after my DNA test, I found out was true. I'm partly Scottish.
Great, congratulations.
As well as a lot of Scandinavian, thanks to them pirates. Not pirates, Vikings.
Wow. Now, do you do a lot of radio shows? Is this something that you do often as far as this sort of thing? Because I know you're on the world stage and also on the local stage. Is this normal for you to do something like this?
Well, yeah. When you play like a festival, sometimes in another country, they'll have you on the radio, and they'll even do spots on the news, and sometimes have you perform and talk on the news, which is great. It's super good promotion for the artist and the festival, and we're always happy to do it. And I always love being in the studio and being broadcast to the millions of your listeners.
Have you been on AZ Channel 3 yet?
No.
Oh, you have to be. Neither have I, but it's one of those stations that are local in the community, and it's like any people that are from the valley, they try to get on that show. It's local AZ3.
Is it the news?
No, it's a local television channel.
Okay.
But very good channel, and they treat the artists great. I've seen videos of how they treat the artists, and they make them sound really good.
All right,
it's
so
great.
anyone from AZ3, give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
I'm ready to perform for you.
Well, can you describe your band to us? Because as I said, the world stage, I've seen pictures of you playing sold-out arenas with. How many members are in your full band?
Well, we have a base of 4 members in the band, but we bring in all these guests depending on what we want to do. We have these exotic players, might play like a Egyptian ney or something, which is like a flute, or, bringing in more instruments. We just love to have the fusion. Sometimes we played festivals in Canada there was a Persian band that was playing, and after hearing them, we asked the guy that played, his unique instrument, which is called a sitar, not a sitar, but a sitar,
okay.
A 3-stringed instrument. And we said, hey, why don't you sit in with us? And he did. Cool. It was great. So spontaneously on stage in front of thousands of people,
that's neat.
We have this new energy, and our music's designed to have open space for things to come in when needed.
Well, you're the performer's performer, because I've seen videos of you performing for a rest home, an old folks home. And you're putting on the same show for those lovely people as you do for a sold-out arena in Egypt or other parts of the world. And I think that's just phenomenal that every time you give a performance, you give your all, and you're just a true professional when it comes to that.
Thank you. I think one of the things that people probably don't realize is when you're on a huge stage, you can't really see everybody because the lights are in your eyes.
Right.
So you see like the people right against the front on the barricade or something.
Yep.
So you're kind of playing for those five, you know, those people that you can actually make out their eye contact with you. So it's not that much different. Although there's a difference, but I'm just saying there's a level of connection that it's hard to go beyond, and I've heard a lot of big famous bands say that it's hard to connect to a giant arena or whatever compared to like an intimate club where you're like really playing for the people right there.
Very neat. You gotta admit though, the energy from a large crowd like that is overwhelming.
And that is
eccentric.
That is the difference I'm talking about,
Yeah.
because you feel that energy, that rush as soon as you step on that stage. You feel the roar, and then you feel the stage shake from the subwoofers. Every time the drummer hits that kick drum, the floor shakes, and you're just like, wow, the power. I feel like Godzilla.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that, about your full stage performances. But there's one song that really moved me when we added it to the station. A lovely lady of Stacey Anfinson gave me one of your CDs, and then we uploaded your music after getting permission. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song called Hannah. What can you tell us about that wonderful song?
Yeah, Hannah was written on a big grassy hill in Wicklow, Ireland. After I'd been traveling all summer, I ended up in Ireland on this hill, and I was pretty lonely. I don't usually get lonely because I'm always moving and making music, but I felt lonely. I had my violin in my hand. I strummed it, and I wrote this song. It's an Irish ballad, and Irish ballads are very tragic. They're not like a ballad you hear here. It's just like heart. Oh yeah, we broke up. My heart hurts. But these Irish ballads are always like somebody either died that you can't live without, or they were forced to move across the ocean with their family, which is the case of this particular song. And so it's in the tradition of the tragic Irish ballads. And you'll find as you travel through Ireland, you'll end up at a lot of the little pubs, and they'll be, doing sessions with lots of fast bowing on the violins and jigs and reels. But there's always one point in the evening where they stop and sing an Irish ballad. And usually it's just like a girl will stand up, and everybody will get dead silent, and she'll sing this tragic Irish ballad, and people will have tears in their eyes. It's really moving, especially when people have had alcohol. They become more emotional than usual. But it's very different because usually, you notice in a pub, people are loud and they're talking and screaming and yelling, and they just want to be social. But at that point in Ireland, people really respect the Irish ballad, and they know that it's a moment coming to kind of move them and possibly heal them even. So
wow, that's beautiful. This is Hannah on the Independent Artist Spotlight Show with Scott Jeffers Traveler.
Her voice is still ringing over these green hills, the grass always wet with her tears. And my heart feels as hollow as an old empty drum, since the light of my life is gone. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my heart is for you. 1,000 miles between us, and an ocean of blue couldn't keep me from loving you all of my years. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my dear. My thoughts of a time when I held her so near, we'd lie in the green grassy fields, and the sun would be gleaming on her soft golden hair. Now I only long to be there. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my heart is for you. 1,000 miles between us, and an ocean of blue couldn't a ship sailed across the sea. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my heart is for you. 1,000 miles between us and an ocean of blue couldn't keep me from loving you all of my years. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my dear. Hannah, sweet Hannah, my dear.
Scott Jeffers Traveler. This week, azradio.live added the music of Jamaica Russo, Do You Feel? This is an electronic dance song that is infectious with its driving beat and layered vocals. You've got to go to www.azradio.live to hear it. It's also available on all streaming services. Jamaica Russo's Do You Feel, only in the Valley's #1 independent music leader, azradio.live. We also added Courtesy Call's latest album in its entirety because So What If She's a Vampire? It's such a great song. Courtesy Call. Go to www.azradio.live to request Courtesy Call. It's all great music. If you've got original music, you'd like the world to hear it, then send it to us at info@azradio.live. We'll be in business still. We're just going to be promoting B-side shows. B-side shows on azradio.live and on the B-side here at Kirk Studio for the Performing Arts. Now, Mr. Jeffers is tuning his guitar. He's down tuning it to a certain song, and we're going to talk about how he writes this great music. It's what I'm assuming is original music.
Yep.
Great, great, great. So we won't get in trouble with the copyrights.
Unless it's possible, I can sue myself.
No. But he's graced us with 45 minutes today, and it's going to be a great show. So thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thanks for everybody listening, too. Very much appreciate you taking your time in this world of quick flashes on the internet that go by.
Yep. And we'll be rebroadcasting this show Monday through Sunday next week from 4 to 5 drive time. If you've got Apple Play or the TuneIn app, just download the TuneIn app and you can hear azradio.live in your car or anywhere you go. Now, when you wrote your music, every song that I hear on your albums you've written, is that correct? Well, mostly.
Almost every song. There's a couple on my album called Mutiny that there's an old Irish ballad from like the 1800s.
Wow.
And there's, I did a version of Hall of the Mountain King, you know,
Sure. Yep.
on the violin. And then there's one other called My Son John, which I kind of wrote new parts for, but it's originally an old pirate song. And
very neat.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. And you play everywhere. For instance, you played the music arts.
Musical Instrument
Museum.
Yeah.
Thursday, June 20th, you play the Utah Arts Festival. You've had several shows coming up at the Desert Ridge Marketplace where you're the premier act. You're the main thing that people go to see at these venues at the Desert Ridge and Tempe Marketplace. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a cool little venue because, first of all, it's free to everybody.
Yeah, sure.
So, you just get all kinds of people. And because it's a mall, you'll get a lot of kids. And kids, for some reason, love us.
Well, great.
Yeah, so if the parent can enjoy it, and the kid can enjoy it, and the grandparent can enjoy it, then we've got, the full spectrum.
A great
crowd.
family environment. Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's world music, so it's kind of like a learning experience. It's like going to a musical instrument museum because we have over 20 instruments on the stage, and most of them you won't recognize.
Wow.
Most of them are exotic Greek, Turkish, Egyptian, Moroccan instruments that,
Is this with your band on those stages?
Yeah. It's Travelers
nice,
is the
the
name of the
Traveler
band.
Band.
And we're a world fusion band. So we take music from inspiration from all these places that I travel. And I'll write songs during my traveling and come up with stuff. Like I was in, like you said before, in Egypt when you contacted me.
Yeah.
And I found that little town. I ended up writing half of the album that we're recording right now was written in Dahab, Egypt, because it was so inspiring.
That's phenomenal.
Right.
That is beautiful. You know, going to different parts of the world and the vibes that you get from different people and cultures inspire your music.
You know, people, you don't feel so, you know, you feel very small in this big ocean of people when you go see the world. It's really enlightening in the sense that you see that there's other ways of doing things than just how it is in your society. And it'll enlighten you in ways where you see really poor people that are ridiculously happy, just living life, you know, getting by day to day. And it makes you realize maybe money really isn't the key to happiness. Maybe there's something else. Doesn't mean I want to give up my money, but it just means maybe there's something else, because there's a lot of people with a lot of money that aren't so happy.
Right.
So who knows? I don't have the answers. I'm just saying
Absolutely.
It helps you to find answers when you see the world. And as an artist, I consider it my job to go to these countries. At least that's how I justify my life of vacations, because I have to write new songs, because it's my job. So I have to go to Egypt or Scotland, because I can't write songs as well here. I write them better there.
Sure.
So that's my excuse.
It's a tough office to have. Tough office.
Yeah, the whole world.
The commute. Well, you've got song 4, Morocco. Is this about the nation of Morocco?
It's about the country of Morocco, about the places of Morocco specifically. Like each part of this song was written in a different part of Morocco, from the Atlas Mountains to the Sahara Desert to Essaouira, which is on the coast, beautiful coastal town, which is famous for Jimi Hendrix living there in the late 60s. And he even wrote his song, Castles in the Sand, at that beach, where this song was completed, at that beach, looking at the same castle that Jimi Hendrix was probably looking at when he wrote Castles in the Sand. Wow. Not that gives the song any more credibility, but I'm just telling you, just in case you wanted to know.
Well, we're going to listen to this song, Morocco, by azradio.live on the Independent Artist Spotlight Show with Scott Jeffers, Chat Traveler.
Not a star in the sky, there's a mist in the light, a full moon shines in the sky so bright, an ocean breeze coming in from the sea, standing on the shore of Essaouira. Wherever I am in this world, there's one thing that always rings true. When I'm in paradise, I'm always dreaming of you. Always dreaming of you. On a desert night, walking on the dunes, not a soul inside, like I'm on the moon. The Sahara wind, a caressing breeze, and the cool soft sand under my bare feet. Wherever I am in this world, there's one thing that always rings true. When I'm in paradise, I'm always dreaming of you. When I'm high on the Atlas, a mountainous beauty, mysterious color of red, red. When I'm high on the Atlas, this winding mountain road leads me further from my home. It's leading me on, leading me on.
Scott Jeffers Travelers on the Independent Artist Spotlight Show. Future guests appearing on our Independent Artist Show. We bring in Louis Ray Camarada Thursday, May 23rd to promote his May 25th show. Stay tuned to see. Fairy Bones is in the studio Thursday, May 30th at 7 p.m. Mom and Dad, bring the kids. Thursday, June 6th is the band Maybe by Fall, 7 p.m. Then Thursday, June 13th is Phoenix's very own Tia Penny. Show also begins at 7 p.m. only on azradio.live. If you'd like to be a guest on the Independent Artist Spotlight Show, we'll see. Book a show on the B-side, then we'll put you on our show. So, do you think we were talking about the Scott Jeffers Travelers band doing a show on the B-side? Do you think that'd be something that would be in the cards?
Oh yeah, man, I would love to do that. This is such a cool studio here. For the people that, well, you probably can't see the whole studio, but there's a room right outside of this door of the studio I'm in that's all set up with a stage and a piano on the stage and beautiful lighting, and it's just such a cool, intimate room. How many seats does that hold? Did you say?
Well, over 70.
Wow, so it could be a real intimate show, and really, yeah, it'd be amazing. We would love to do it.
Well, we'd be more than happy to have Scott Jeffers Travelers on the show on the B-side. And you have a total of 17 albums, if I counted correctly. Now, the last album you released digitally, are you getting away from the physical CD thing?
No, I'm old school, so,
Okay.
I started making albums when they were still albums.
Yep.
That to me, that signifies my project is finished, and now I can move on to the next. When it's digital, there's no glory.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, there is, like, if you're from the digital age, I'm sure. Well, look how many likes I got. But for me, I want to see people grab that CD and
Yep.
have it in their hand.
Well, a lot of independent artists still give their music out on CDs because people need something to purchase at their shows. So it's a great marketing tool still.
We're thinking of, like, going back even further. I know a lot of people using vinyl, but we're going back to 8-track tapes.
Really?
No.
It's good. Wow. Well, maybe different parts of the world. We're still listening.
Yeah,
That was pretty good. You got me on that one. I'm going,
a little behind.
yeah.
Just when you thought you were on to the new technology.
Yeah.
It took you back.
Now, we were playing at the Duck in Decanter recently. Has anybody on the do you think anybody watching saw you at the Duck in Decanter?
Yeah, lots of people come to that
Great,
show.
great,
It's nice because my band has a really strong following. Like, we're able to sell out the theater at the MIM and different. So people know us, and I play solo as well a lot, like I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they can come and hear the more raw version of the song. We're really intimate, and if a song is good, it'll stand up with just its melody and its chord. It doesn't need all the fancy stuff, but it's nice to have it too because it's But an intimate show gives you a whole nother view of what these songs are.
And we do want to give a shout out to the Listening Room. They were a great institution here in Phoenix, and we hope that they carry on. They were our inspiration for the B-side. So they focus on the artist and the genuineness of the written song. Like Adam Smith wrote some great music, and then you've written all your beautiful songs yourself. And if they see you in that environment, the Duck in Decanter, by gosh, go to the Duck in Decanter and see these great acts.
Yeah, it seems like it's becoming a lost art in the way that, the singer-songwriter, and having a venue, at least here in Phoenix, there, thank God for the Listening Room and now the B-sides and things are starting to pop up that are letting the audience that love this kind of thing have a venue to go to and see this music. Because I don't know, where would Bob Dylan have been if there wasn't a place in Greenwich Village or whatever, to perform and perfect his art and develop his following and be heard.
Yeah, without the ice machine, as Jim Coletti said, crashing down and drink orders.
And the bars and people yelling out Freebird. Yeah, I've been there.
Well, we have the Ballad of Ophelia McCracken. What can you tell us about this wonderful song?
Well, I love Scotland. I spent a lot of time in Scotland. And when I was in Scotland a time or two ago, I ended up in a place called Loch Duach, which is up by the Isle of Skye. It's a loch, and I'd rented a kayak, and I went out on the water, and there was this thing that was following me in the water once I got really out there. It looked like a really big dog, but it had these black eyes. It would pop its head out of the water every now and then. And I was told, somebody had told me because I took a picture of it, but it was kind of blurry, kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. People said it was a seal. Yeah.
Was it a seal?
Yeah, it was
Okay, I was thinking
it was
of
probably a
crocodile.
seal,
Okay.
but it had really, because Loch Duach is connected to the ocean
Okay.
but right by the canal and Isle of Skye. So all the big giant water beasts can swim through, including those giant beasts they call the seal.
Right. Well,
And its its eyes were piercing. They
Yeah.
were so black.
Yep.
It was frightening. So, anyways,
Wow.
the old guys there in Scotland, the Scottish love to tell tales. They're so good at it, and they have a way of telling these tales that is very effective. And apparently, somebody went missing on this loch years ago.
Oh, wow.
And there's all kinds of variations of the tale of what may have happened to her. So I wrote this while I was there. It's called The Ballad of Ophelia McCracken, and it's going to be played just on the violin and voice, which is a strange combination. People don't usually hear just a solo violin and a voice.
Well, thank you.
And that's what you're about to hear now.
Well, thank you. This is Scott Jeffers Travelers on azradio.live, the Independent Arts Spotlight Show.
Dark was the night. She set out alone in her cloak and a lantern and a 60-pound stone. Down to the water she untied the rope, and from the shore she paddled in an old rowboat. The water was black on that cold winter's night. Storm clouds were glowing with flashes of light. The voice of the wind and the mad thunderclap. The song of the sirens, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. Oh, Ophelia McCracken. Oh, nobody knows what happened. Ophelia McCracken. The mystery remains, for her body ne'er not found. Some say 'twas the Kelpies, some say she drowned. It is said, if you stand on the banks of Duach Lake, you can still hear the cries from a watery grave. Ophelia McCracken. Nobody knows what happened. Ophelia McCracken.
AZRadio.live would like to thank Scott Jeffers Traveler for being our musical guest on our Independent Artist Spotlight Show. AZRadio.live is brought to you by Kirk's Studio for the Performing Arts. If you want the pros to teach you or your family, then think kirkstudio.com. Okay, Scott, we're out of here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. See ya! Okay, and we're going off Facebook Live.